Hey everybody, today I'm excited to bring you my Icebox fruitcake recipe. Now don't turn me off. This is one of my favorite holiday cakes and I love it. I love all the ingredients in it and you do too. And if you don't, you can substitute or you can just leave something out. But the texture and the smell and the aroma and the taste is so scrumptious. I'm going to push up my sleeves, put on my apron, go ahead and prep some of our ingredients and I'll be right back. Okay, I have my sleeves pushed up and my apron on, so now let's get started. I'm using my large pan. This is a stainless steel pan that I love to use, have gloves on, and we're starting out with one box. This is a 14.4 ounce box of graham crackers. Now, I talked about substitutes earlier. You can substitute if you want to use vanilla wafers, and I know a lot of people do. You can just use vanilla wafers. But I put my graham crackers in this plastic bag and I crushed them. So I'm just pouring those in my pan, just like that. And if you see any large pieces that didn't get crushed, you can just take your hands and crush it like that. But that looks pretty good to me. Now I'm adding 2 cups of chopped pecans. 2 cups of chopped pecans. Do you see why I'm wearing gloves? It's not that my hands aren't clean. They are. It's so that it makes it easy for me to mix all of these ingredients together. Next, I'm adding 1 cup of flaked coconut. 1 cup of flaked coconut. Y'all, this is just my favorite cake. I have to keep it in the refrigerator outside in my garage to keep from eating it. I could eat 2 or 3 pieces a day. And next, I'm adding 1 cup of raisins. Now, you could use the light raisins if you wanted to, or you can just leave them out. Like I said, you don't have to put them in there. But I happen to love raisins, so I'm just mixing all of my dry ingredients together to begin with. Next, I'm adding a 1/2 cup of chopped maraschino cherries. I think this gives it a pretty color, and also it's just delicious. I love the cherries. You could add more cherries if you wanted to. In fact, I have a few more chopped over here, and I think that I'll just add them. That's probably a cup. I hadn't planned to do that, but I think I will because I love the color and I love cherries. And so does my sweet husband. He loves cherries. So we're just putting the cherries in there, mixing it around. And I just chopped those. And the size jar that I bought was, it says a pound. A pound is 16 ounces. So that's what I used. And I saved the juice because we may need to add a little bit of that to our Icebox fruitcake. Next, I'm adding 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. Now, for those of you who have my cookbook, you will see in my cookbook that I used marshmallows and 1/4 cup of milk, which is wonderful. But several people told me that they use sweetened condensed milk in their Icebox fruitcake. So I thought, well, you know what? I'm game for change. So I'm just going to try it and see how it works. I know it's going to be good because I do love sweetened condensed milk. So I'm just adding that, and we probably are going to need to add some cherry juice, but I'm going to set that aside over there so that I don't spill it. And I'm going to start mixing the sweetened condensed milk, just using my hands and mixing all of this together. This is going to be so delicious. That's getting pretty moist. 1 can may be enough, but if we need to add some cherry juice, then we'll add some cherry juice. And it takes some muscle to do this. You can't just be a little wimp and make an icebox fruitcake. You gotta have some strength to do it. Y'all, this is gonna, I can already tell. It's coming together, the texture, the flavors. I smell it. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be so, so good. So you wanna make sure that all of the dry ingredients are moist and that it's all mixed together really well. It doesn't take long. What takes the longest is, first of all, making up your mind that you're going to do it. Secondly, making out your grocery list, going to the grocery store and making sure that you have all of the ingredients that you need before you start putting this luscious, delicious, scrumptious icebox fruitcake together. So there we have that. And then the next thing that takes the longest, I guess, is prepping it, because the actual making of it is, it's just minutes, So now I'm going to bring over this 9x9 baking dish. It's just a little Pyrex dish that I have here. And it looks like I've got too much fruitcake, but I think that it's going to all fit in here. If it doesn't, I'll get another little dish to put it in. But what you want to do is to pack your fruitcake, because if you don't pack it, it's going to have air bubbles, and you're gonna, it's not gonna slice pretty for you. So I'm just transferring it into my dish. You could use any kind of dish that you want to, because this is going in the refrigerator once we get it packed in this dish, and we're gonna let it chill for several hours. And then it'll be ready to serve. Now, I like to make mine ahead of time. I like to make mine the 1st of December, and if we eat it all, then I'll just make another one, because they're so simple to make. But I like to go ahead and make a lot of my goodies the beginning of December. If you wait until Christmas, then you're gonna have all of these goodies left over that's going to go into the new year. And I don't particularly like to do that. I like to have all of mine made pretty early in December so that we can enjoy it throughout the holiday season and not just wait until Christmas Eve or Christmas night. Now, we'll do a lot of baking and cooking and have a lot of fun in the kitchen. But the more that I can do ahead of time, the better. So I'm just packing this in here like this. And look at that. Y'all, we have an icebox fruitcake in minutes. Just minutes. Now, let me grab something. Let me take my gloves off and clean up my mess that I've made here. And I'm pretty good at that. I'm just turning this around so that you can see it. And let me grab something. So that I can just clean up my dish. We want it pretty. We want it clean. And I'm going to cover this with a plastic wrap and put it in my refrigerator and let it sit for several hours. And then it'll be ready to cut. And you want to cut small slices because this is really rich, but it's really, really good. And I think it's one that you're going to want to make for your family, for your friends. Do you think I've got it clean enough? I think I've got it clean enough. Okay, there you go, friends. An icebox fruitcake. Hallelujah. See you in a little bit. Okay, friends, thank you for joining me today. I hope you'll share our recipe, and I'll see you again really, really soon. Y'all, Christmas is going to be here before we know it, and so we got to get this baking done. And the beauty about this icebox fruitcake is you don't have to bake anything. I'll see you later.